Council has today handed down its budget for 2021, and one of the highlights is there's no increase in rates.
This year's 2020 to 2021 budget has been one of those budgets was the most difficult one that the city had to deliver. On the one hand, we want to make sure that the rates does not increase because people are hurting out there. On the other hand, we want to accelerate projects and have community projects to be brought forward. The major highlight is this. As you can see on the graph, we set a trend of keeping our budget to be CPI. But today, including the $64 rebate throughout, the budget is actually 0.11 below the line. Now, for businesses, Coolangatta, Surfers Paradise, Broadbeach, Southport, their commercial rate will also be decreased. There's about 10,500 properties, so we'll have a reprieve on that.
This is a great budget for our city. We've focused on a massive capital works program yet again, $575 million in capital works. And I think we all recognise also that congestion has been a strong talking point in the community, and there's $288 million for roads and transport infrastructure in this budget. We mentioned earlier the $26.9 million in the Community Recovery Program, and we've focused on providing grants for hardship, grants for community groups, grants for groups, professional groups that support community, for our sporting clubs, which are the grassroots component of every community across the city. So it's been a budget that we have worked hard to focus on people's needs whilst still delivering first-class services right across the city. As far as people who are having difficulty is concerned, we've also reduced the interest rate that will be applicable to overdue rates. So that's down from 11% to 3%. We don't want anyone to be doing it tough, but in those tough times we've been cognisant of that. The special levies right across our tourism precincts have been eliminated for this financial year, and that will be greatly appreciated by those businesses as they get back to delivering once we can. There's no increase on water charges for the city. The state has lifted their bulk water charges by 3.72%. We can't avoid that, but the city has stood firm and there are no increases. The Mayor mentioned earlier that nearly 138,000 ratepayers will receive a $64 rebate on their rates to keep their rates below what they paid last year. So it hasn't just been a rates freeze, we've improved on that position. We've also continued to pay down debt this year. I think when the Mayor came to office, our debt was at something like close to 800 million, 770 I think from memory, and our debt is now down to 615 million. So this city is in great shape. It's been a fantastic process. We've had 4 new representatives who've stepped up, and I think the council as a whole has delivered something that this community should appreciate and that we can all be very proud of this city.
But the key message that I want to put to you as we move forward, that the Gold Coast city, economy, people, once this COVID-19 is over, our economy is going to pick up and sail absolutely past the COVID-19 pandemic. And our future for the Gold Coast is bright. Investment will flow, and we just want a steady investment and growth and broaden back our economy so that our kids finishing school don't have to leave the Gold Coast, stay here where it's safe and stay here to further education. For those people looking to retire, getting into their 50s, 60s, especially in Victoria and New South Wales, I can see them packing up and coming to a place where it's a beautiful place to be. So all in all, this budget will highlight that the Gold Coast, there's absolutely no place I'd rather be.